Good morning, guys. Welcome to another YouTube video. I think this will be my first or second video in 2025. A new venture for me. I am going to film a get ready with me. So I'm going to do my makeup this morning. We're getting ready to go into Cannes, which is one of my favourite places. I love it there so much. But it's December, so it's going to be quite quiet, which is quite nice. But yeah, I'm going to get ready, do my makeup. I feel like a makeup tutorial has been literally my most asked video, but I don't know what it is. I just can't do a whole makeup video edit together, and I don't know. It's been my most requested video and I'm finally going to film it. And this will be as in-depth as it can be because I don't have everything that I would use or would use every day. This wig's from Hair BB and I can't tell you how soft this hair is. It's incredible. It really exceeded my expectations. So I'm going to start off with my Hourglass. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. It's an Hourglass airbrush primer. I had already cleansed my face and moisturised. So now I'm going to go in with my primer and really focus on oh, it feels incredible. This is lovely. My brows, I use by Ellie. So I use by Ellie the brow texture. This is my favourite product from them. I don't really like the, what is the other one? I think it's like a brow wax in a little pot. Not a big fan of that one because I don't like it when it's too flat. I'd quite like, you know, the brows to have some texture in it, so hence I just coat my brows and then let that set. This white cast that you see also disappears, which is what I love because that's a bit scary. Let's be real, that's a bit scary, but it does disappear and it doesn't leave any white cast. So I literally coat my brows, brush them, and let them set. The first question is, what is your occupation? Not sure if you can hear that, but that's Dakota. I left her with my sister, who's currently looking after for me whilst I get ready. So yeah, full-time occupation is a content creator and a full-time mum. I feel like I'm so blessed to be able to say that I'm a full-time mum as well because I honestly love it so much. I originally decided that I was going to go back to work. I had it all planned out in my head, everything, and I don't know what happened, but when I gave birth I was like, there is no way. Because I genuinely didn't want anyone near her, not even my mum. Like if they wanted to like pick her up, which we're talking a few days old, if they wanted to pick her up, if they wanted to do stuff, and I just was like, can everybody leave me alone, leave her alone? Like I was so protective. And yeah, I then like just basically decided that I didn't want to go back to work. I wanted to look after Dakota. I didn't want to put her into childcare. We didn't need it at the time. And that kind of kick-started me to take content creation seriously because then, you know, I had more time on my hands and I put 100% into it. So yeah, that's really the basis of it. I've now been doing it for 2 years and I also don't like working for the man. Let's be real. So I've just gone in with Tom Ford Contour. It's actually a foundation stick in the shade Walnut. 12.5. So I use that as contour. I do go heavy on my, as my sister would like to tell me, I go heavy on the contour because it's like a underpainting. So I wanted to show up after I put my foundation. So I just blend that out and it's such a nice formula, the Tom Ford. Really nice, definitely worth the money. So I just go in and put that on the parts that I want to. It's a really nice warm colour as well, I think. But I really like how warm it's made me. It makes me look a bit more alive. I go in with some concealer and I always start with a skin coloured concealer. So for me, that is Fenty. I've also seen a lot of controversy about this Fenty concealer. People don't like it, but I love it. I use that just as a base, really, because I do go in with a lighter concealer. I never use it on its own, which is probably why I can't say that I hate it. I really do like it. I also conceal round here because I do have dark mouth area. Okay, another question I have is, how many siblings do I have? 3. So I'm one of 4. I've got an older brother, a younger sister, and another younger brother. We've got quite big age gaps. My older brother is 33 or 34. 34. 33. I don't know. My sister, who I'm quite close with, she is 22. I think I'm going to get all the ages wrong. She's going to watch this and be like, right. I think she's 22 or 23. She's 22 turning 23. And then my youngest brother is 12 or 11. My sister's actually here with me on holiday. She's always... So you know when you have those... I've always seen these memes and it's like, you, your husband, and then the third person is always the sister that's just like in the photos in the background, or like also in the bed with you. That's my sister. She's always there. Okay, I'm using this, which definitely needs a little wash, but it's a Spuffy. There we go. It's a makeup sponge, but it feels so good. I literally don't use a concealer brush since I started using this. This is my favourite makeup applicator. I use it for everything. If I even want to put on a bit of foundation, which I'll do, it's incredible. Leaves your makeup, like, this is the reason why I genuinely think my makeup comes out really smooth, is because of this Spuffy. And I use this to press in the concealer that I used. It just melts into the face. It's really, really nice. Also to blend out any harsh lines, but I'm not ready to blend this out yet. I kind of just leave it to work and to sort of settle in a little bit. Go back in with the brush that I used for the contour. Don't put any more on, but I just go back in and work the cheek, so, you know, just to bring it out again. And then I'll do the same on the other side. My second concealer. Really get rid of those bags. And then I leave that for a while, a long time. I feel like this concealer, it's Too Faced, Born This Way, Mocha. I genuinely feel like this concealer is only good if you leave it for a long time to set. Otherwise, it just kind of disappears for me. What inspired you to start creating content in the first place? That's a really good question. Do you know what's funny is I literally, me and my sister talk about this all the time, and how, like, as a kid, what you do kind of shapes what you want to be in the future. Because when I was younger, I genuinely used to like create like my outfits, and I'd draw them on little mannequins and like be like, oh no, this outfit doesn't go. But I literally was like maybe like 10, and I would spend hours just drawing and be like, oh, I'm going to design my own bridal collection, and then I would have a catalogue full of sketches I've done. And so I feel like I always knew I wanted to be in fashion, I just didn't know what it was. I loved to take photos of other people, I loved fashion, I loved looking at outfits, I loved putting outfits together, but I always didn't know what it was that I wanted to do. And when you're at school, you're not exactly doing anything that's like, you know, fashion based. So, I mean, I was really good at art. So I just liked creating. I knew I wanted to do something creative. And it just so happened that in lockdown I was so bored that I was so bored that I used to just, I don't know, order an outfit, put it together, take some photos in my downstairs living room, and it just started in there. Even in my bedroom, I was laughing about this yesterday because in my bedroom, in my mum's old house, it was a loft room, so like the ceilings were just, and I generally used to get a backdrop and I would pin it up into like the loft doors, I'd try and get like a bed sheet and pin it up in my room, and that would be my neutral aesthetic background, and I would start doing my poses. I was doing the most. I literally was doing the most. I might actually put a clip here. I used to do the most for content, so I feel like I had always thought this is what I wanted to do. I just didn't know how to get there. My sister has joined in. She is now in the background reading her Kindle. Where's Dakota? Where's Dakota?
With her father.
With her father. Okay, great. Okay, so the next question I've got is, whose personality does Dakota have? She is the cutest. Okay, I'd say she's a good mix of both of us. She has this wild side to her, and that I think definitely comes from Stephen. But then she's such a happy girl, and I genuinely think like her smile, her happiness, like that's the both of us. Like she loves to joke around, she loves to banter, and I feel like that comes from both sides. So yeah, but the girl's wild. I'm now going in with Hourglass Concealer. I don't usually do this step, but I want to show this concealer because a lot of people have asked me what shade I use. This is June Vanish. And this concealer is I find it quite a difficult one to use because you have to work it in very quickly. You can't let this one set like the Born This Way. So literally as soon as I put it on, I blend that straight in. And when I tell you, you need the tiniest amount of concealer with this one. So I get scared as soon as it's on my face. I'm like, right, quick. Because if it dries down, it doesn't budge. It's very hard to blend in. So I find it's a lot easier to work it in ASAP. I also find it's better when you're using concealers, or if you're using different ones, it's better to layer them in small amounts and then to build that up. If you wanted more, well, the sun is not, allow me to, oh. That's better. So if you wanted a more highlighted under eye, then it's better to use a small amount and then just build up on that. And then that's the concealer done. Sometimes I go back in again with that contour brush. No added product, just to blend it in and merge the two together. Like that. Okay, and then before I go in with any blush, I like to put a powder under my eyes just to make sure that it's not going to crease. So do not like a creased under eye. So the powder I absolutely love. This is just a travel size one, but it's the By Terry Hyaluronic Pressed Hydro Powder. Incredible powder, I'm telling you guys. I cannot wait to buy the full size. A good under powder before I start to set it, but also a great finishing powder. So I just literally put that underneath, and then I can go in still with my cream products without it looking like chaos. When did you get into horse riding? I love telling this story because horse riding is a part of me that not many people know that I do, and when I tell people, they're always a bit like, oh, like you ride horses? Yes. If you don't know, I have been riding since I was 13, 14 years old. I'm going in with a blush now, sorry. This blush is Kat Von D. I got it in a PR and I am obsessed with it. It's good apple, but I feel like the colour is so vibrant and it blends out so nicely. So going in with the blush. And I've actually mixed the two colours together, go in with the red, and it's also peach. There you go. Gorgeous, gorgeous blush. So yeah, I've been riding since I was 14. I had never even touched a horse before that, or I didn't have interest in it really. I started because my little sister, wave, my little sister had some friends who were very into horses at the time. And how old were you, Deb?
I think I was like 10, 9.
9, 10, okay. She had some friends that were very into horses at the time, and my sister was like, I'm going to go horse riding. There was a place actually locally, which was only a 10-15 minute walk. So my sister was like, I'm going horse riding. Great. At the time, I was clearly too cool to be doing anything like that. I was going out with my friends, and so off she went one weekend, and she came home, and my mum was like, you need to take her there tomorrow and stay with her for the whole day. I was like, what happened? Apparently my sister had fainted at the stables, and she said that the smell, and obviously it's quite a lot of work, like it's a lot of labour with horses, especially if you're not used to doing that before, you know, the whole like mucking out, riding, and also like learning new things. And I think the smell of just the manure itself really hit my sister. So, and she hadn't eaten that day. She was so excited, I think she was so excited to get there that she was like, I don't need breakfast, you know. She just off she went out the door. Anyways, she had passed out on the stable door, and I remember she came home and telling me that the woman that ran the place was like, do you just do this often? She was like, no, I fainted, like. So yeah, the next day my mum had forced me, and I was not happy about this. I was almost a bit like, to my sister, you've ruined my weekend, like I now have to go sit at the stables and watch over you. And yeah, that is literally how it started. I literally went back the next weekend. I was like, I love this so much. Like I loved every part of it. And my sister now always says to me, I'm the reason why you horse ride. I'm the reason why you did this and you did this. And she's even gone to at lengths of said she's the reason why me and Stephen met.
Facts.
Yeah, so anyways, that is really it, to be honest. I went to a local riding school. I paid £8 for the weekend, rode horses. I learned how to tack them up, learned everything that I needed there, really. And then I think at one point I've like had loans of my own, loaned a few horses, ended up buying a horse myself. I went to an equine college. I feel like that's also a story for another day. Went to an equine college, thought that I wanted to study it at uni, didn't want to study it at uni. Okay, before I set my under eye, I go back in with a brush just to make sure I'm not setting any creases. So just go back in with a brush, with the brush. And then take a flat powder puff. I feel like this is the only way you can set an under eye so that it doesn't crease, with a flat powder puff. I'm using Huda Beauty. I'm yet to find another powder that's as good. And this is in the shade Kunafa. Yeah. So I take the powder puff, press it into the top, and then key stage is to actually pat it down onto your hand to get rid of any of the excess, because you don't need that much. You know, it doesn't. Also to make it even, an even coverage. And then I just press that into the corners multiple times. And I kind of just keep pressing it in until it's not too dusty, if that makes sense. So just keep pressing it in. And then I'll do the same with the other side. Okay. Any excess that I have on the puff, I add to my T-zone. And also these smile lines. And then sometimes if I do really want to accentuate the cheekbones, I'll add more product or just use the excess here and there. I'm still going to blend this out as well, but like I said, I really do like to leave it in. Okay. Do you want more kids? Do you want more kids? So you want more kids? Literally a few questions on kids. Do we want more kids? The answer is yes, and the answer is also no. Yes, I would love to have more kids if it was as easy of just saying, I want to have more kids. I feel like the longer we leave it, the more I'm like, I quite like just having the one. But I'm also aware that I feel like Dakota would love siblings. I think she would love just having someone to play with, she loves kids. So I just, in my head, I know that she wants someone to terrorize. But yeah, I actually don't know how to answer this question, really. I think the answer is yes, we do want kids, but it's also not as easy. It's more the fact that I feel like I've gone back to myself after Dakota. So I feel like I now dress how I want, and now I'm back to sort of like the size that I was before Dakota. I wear what I want to wear, I kind of do what I want to do, and I know now that if I was to have another kid, let's say at this point, that things change again, and it's a scary change. It's also mentally a lot, but I feel like people say that, you know, the transition from none to one is harder than 1 to 2. So, and I feel like every pregnancy is different, but just the thought of doing it all again can be quite daunting. So I like to just say whatever happens, happens, and there's no pressure. I feel like there's also a lot of pressure people say when people ask you. It's like, oh, like the age gap, but it's like, whoa. Let's just rein it in a little bit. I don't think it really matters at the end of the day. Me and my sister are 4 years apart, and we still have an amazing relationship. Me and my older brother are, how many years apart? 8 years apart, and you know, we still chat. And my youngest brother, who is like 12, you know, I love him to bits. So at the end of the day, I think whatever works, works. I did say I wanted to get all the kids out before 30. And I still kind of stick by that, because I feel like the first pregnancy for me, it hit me hard. And I was like, right, I can't do this forever. I just wanted to like get them out and be done with it. But again, like I said, it's not as easy as just, you know, the wave of the wand. If I could wave a wand. I'm now going to go in with a powdered bronzer just to set whatever's going on here. I'm using, do you know what, I'm actually using P. Louise, the Cheek of It Baked Bronzer, just because I haven't found a bronzer that's dark enough that also does what I want it to do just yet. So if anyone has any recommendations, please send them through. Because at the same time, I'm not the biggest fan of the P. Louise, but you know, it's kind of just, I'm waiting to find that hero product. So I just use that bronzer to just buff that into my cheeks. And that's when it kind of now mellows out a little bit, so the lines don't look as harsh. And I use that also on the temples of my forehead, sometimes on the jawline. But this is what kind of gets rid of that harsh line for me and buff that bronzer in. So adding it to the jawline, to my nose, just kind of everywhere where I want, when the sun hits my face, I want it to be warm. I've brought with me Natasha Denona palette, a small one. I'm probably just going to use one shade over the whole eyelid and call that a day. There's a really nice sort of neutral brown coloured. So I'm just going to do that, and then mascara, eyeliner. Should we answer another question? Okay, I think this is my most asked question as well. is how did me and my husband meet? So let's get into that one. At the same time, I'm just going to work in the eyeshadow, literally just, I'd literally just over the whole lid. Work it over the whole lid. So me and Stephen went to the same uni together. My mum is an African parent through and through. When I told her I wanted to go to an equine college, you can just imagine her answer, no. So I worked on it. I get it, maybe a week it took for me to convince her to let me go. And even then I was a bit shocked, I was very surprised. She took me to IKEA, she was buying me stuff for my boarding house. It was just, to me I was so shocked, but I was also very, very happy. But at that point I think it kind of hit that I was like, oh God, I'm actually leaving home. Anyways, this story is actually about how me and Stephen met. So anyways, I went to an equine college. From there, I went to an equine university and thought that I wanted to continue learning about horses and horsemanship and sort of equine science. So that's what I did. There were literally 9 people in my lectures, in my course, 9 of us, and one of them being Stephen. At the time, we were just really good friends. I hardly went to any of my lectures. I actually found it so boring. But me and Stephen would have a great time in our lectures when I did go. We used to shop, we used to just like talk about things and gossip. I actually have a photo of me and Stephen in one of our lectures in 2014 or whatever it is, like dissecting a horse's leg together and like finding it so hilarious. So anyways, at the time we were purely just friends. I then dropped out after 6 months. I say it's 6 months, but I think it was like the April half term or the Easter holidays when you go off for 2 weeks. I decided that I just didn't want to go back to uni. And I never told my mum, I just sat at home like, and every time she'd be like, when are you going back to uni? I say, next week. But yeah, and then me and Stephen kept in contact. I ended up loaning a horse off him for a little while. And I was actually in contact more with his mum because his mum was the one that dealt with all the horse stuff. So yeah, he went off, had different relationships. I went off and had different relationships. And then I think during lockdown, I think he was in South Africa for a little while and he was coming back to England, and I think he just wanted something to do when he came back. So he must have like replied back to my Instagram story like, oh my gosh, it's been so long, let's catch up. I was like, oh yeah, great. So we did, and I think we just ended up hitting it off there. And every time my mum would be like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? I'd be like, oh, I'm just going to go to Stephen's. And she'd be like, And I was in denial because I'd be like, there was nothing going on there, we're just friends. And yeah, that's basically how it happened. So we had been friends for years beforehand, and I always say like, if anyone was to tell us back when we were at uni that we would be together now with a child, we'd probably both laugh and say there's no way. To finish up the eye look, I've actually decided to go in with an Hourglass. This is the highlighting palette, so I'm just adding a bit of gold dust onto the lids. Really simple look today. And that's my eye makeup practically done. I'm going to go in with some eyeliner. I'm actually going to use, which eyeliner am I going to use? I'm going to use the Dior Eye Kohl and an Hourglass mascara to finish off my eye makeup. I'll be back in a sec. And hair products used on Dakota. If you go on Instagram and type in Afro Hair Candy, they are literally the best I've found so far for hair products for Dakota. Lots of hair care, yeah. Afro Hair Candy, it's definitely worth the investment. Her hair had never been better when I was using their products. I'm actually going to get some more. Okay, so lots of questions on France and why I'm here, if I live here, and the answer is no, we don't live here. We actually have a very cute little cottage just outside of London. My husband's family have a house here, so we come here quite often. it's a really nice escape from the UK because it's always sunny here and it's not a long flight. So I guess that answers. I feel like in an ideal world we would move here because we do love it so much, but it's not easy after Brexit to relocate in the EU. So at the moment we're just enjoying our cosy cottage life in the UK. And that's my mascara done. This mascara is so beautiful, really, really nice. My sister always tells me that my own mascara is always too clumpy, but I don't think so. That's my eye look done. Last but not least, lip combo, my favourite. I've decided to add a highlight very last minute. And this one is my Refi Topaz Gloss Highlighter. Just adding it to my Spuffy, my everything brush. And I'm just going to add that to my cheeks. And blend that out. And just to give me a little bit more of a dewy look. To the tips of my nose. Any excess to my chin.
Mommy.
Hi!
Dee.
Come say hello.
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 Mommy, where did you go?
Dee Dee's gone to shower. Mummy just filmed a makeup tutorial. What do you think?
It's good.
It's good. Oh, thank you. Do you like it?
Okay.
Okay, and that's me done. I am now gonna get changed and we're gonna go out to Cannes. How does that sound?
Get out there.
Yeah, we're gonna go outside. Okay? Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the little get ready with me, sort of talking about, you know, get to know me as well. So yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.